Quite a while back, Prager University made a video called Do We Have Free Will? The question is endlessly fascinating and has been the subject of much study for quite some time now, mostly among cognitive neuroscientists. I got hooked on such questions back in 1992 when I read Dan Dennett's Consciousness Explained. That eventually led to nearly 2 years of ordering and reading books almost exclusively from various cognitive neuroscience departments at universities all around the world. More popularly, books like Dennett's Freedom Evolves brought the question of free will to a wider audience, and books like Descartes' Error by Antonio Damasio brought the broader field of cognitive neuroscience to the masses. I mention all of this because the good folks at my alma mater, PragerU, go Devils, seem to be completely unaware of any of this.
I don't know.
It would be difficult to imagine a less studied presentation of the topic and the relevant science, which has for many decades now been looking into this very question. I'm not suggesting that we have any settled science when it comes to the question of free will. Settled science is a bit of a misnomer anyway. But we certainly have enough science to understand that such questions are far more complex than the PragerU video suggests. In fact, there is not one bit of cognitive neuroscience to be found in the PragerU video. The presentation is nothing but mere argument, a claim, without a single attempt to present any actual evidence for their point of view beyond mere argument. And what is that argument or claim? Well, that we all have an immaterial mind which exists separate from our physical body. An idea which materialists like me are said to hate because such an idea suggests that there is a great mind responsible for all of our less great minds. Again, there is no evidence or science presented to back this up. It's simply asserted. And I really have to hand it to the PragerU people here. While the video offers nothing beyond mere assertion to hang one's hat on, these mere assertions are in fact presented by someone you would absolutely expect to put one right over the plate when it comes to such questions. Former Major League pitcher, the late Frank Pastore, who also held degrees in business and theology. I mean, this guy had an amazing 3.28 earned run average in the minor leagues. Of course he's going to know this stuff, right? Now, you can call me a snob all you want, but the question of whether or not there is a mind independent of the physical brain is exactly one of the things cognitive neuroscientists have been considering for decades. Though admittedly, this was also an obsession of Nolan Ryan and Fernando Valenzuela, both of whom are still regularly cited in various cognitive neuroscience journals. So far, there is no evidence for such a claim. Indeed, the evidence leans overwhelmingly in the opposite direction. From basic mental disorders and mental illness to traumatic brain injury, OCD, Tourette's, and even homicidal sleepwalking. Yeah, that's a thing. Look out. Science has been looking into such questions since before a railroad spike went through the brain of 19th century railway foreman Phineas Gage, taking with it part of his brain and otherwise convivial personality. There is much to be said on the topic of free will. People like the aforementioned philosopher Daniel Dennett and Sam Harris, aka Mr. October, who holds a PhD in neuroscience, have written extensively on the subject, as have many other qualified individuals, though few of them, if any, have ever played sports professionally. I personally would recommend David Eagleman's Incognito, a fascinating bird's-eye view of the recent state of cognitive neuroscience and the secret life of the brain. But there isn't anything really here to argue with in this PragerU video. The good people at PU believe that there is an immaterial mind and soul. Okay, do you have any evidence you'd like to present?
I don't know.
No. All right, any proof? No, not really. But this guy has an amazing career, 541 strikeouts in the majors. How could he possibly be wrong? When people don't come to their positions via reason and evidence, there is no reason or evidence you can present to persuade them otherwise. As former outfielder for the Chicago Cubs, Christopher Hitchens, put it, what can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. And that's all that's required here, as this video is not really on the university level in terms of education or evidence or science or even basic argumentation. Thus, I'm proposing a name change for PragerU. I think they should start calling themselves Prager SS for Prager Sunday School, as that really is the level of education you're going to get there. It might work on other levels too, I haven't really thought it through, but clearly Prager University is nothing but a pitch, a swing, and a miss.